Welcome to Cardano Insider, where you can get the most recent ADA Cardano news. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to remain up to speed on exciting developments. Watch to the very end if you want to learn more. Lubin claims that crypto is the sick dog's tail that is wagging. Right now, nothing will improve until the economy regains its former luster. Cardano ADA has been impacted by the state of the cryptocurrency market as well as the recent price bumps. But this ADA coin price cycle seems to be linked to Bitcoins in 2013. Does the past recur and rhyme? As investors became wary of the most recent release of U.S. inflation data, Cardano ADA led the group of blue-chip cryptocurrencies. Since then, the entire cryptocurrency market has turned into a sea of red, marching in lockstep with the declining equity markets after U.S. inflation came above expectations for September. Although market leaders like Bitcoin and Ethereum did slightly better, the 8th-ranked cryptocurrency by market cap is still trading near its lows. The circumstance is not unusual, as evidenced by the 2013 records. Cardano appears to be following Bitcoin's footsteps in that year. But is this an acceptable justification for repeated failures? Dan Garbardello examines the striking similarities between the performance of Cardano ADA in 2022 and that of Bitcoin in one of his films. According to Garbardello, who cited the weekly ADA trading charts, there are many opportunities in ADA for value investors like himself. He shared his perspective and noted that Cardano is significantly undervalued over the long term. The crypto analyst then explored the Cardano ecosystem and provided numerous examples to support his conviction that ADA and Bitcoin are similar. He began by posting a little excerpt from Andreas Antonopoulos' 2013 Bitcoin video, in which he was talking about the idea of Bitcoin neutrality. A few years later, or don't know, which is currently trading at a market cap of $12.27 billion and has been predicted to follow the Bitcoin, barely had any attendees at the conference, which was held around the time when Bitcoin had a market cap of over $1 billion and was on its way to the mark of $1 trillion. PAF Garbardello will also underline that there are certain similarities between the blockchains used by Cardano and Bitcoin. Do you recall what happened to Bitcoin in 2013 when investors flocked to the exciting new possibility that was always trending in the media? Bitcoin was a victim of its own success. The volume of trade was so high on Mt. Gox that the main Bitcoin exchanges were unable to handle it, and when it crashed, hackers exploited a weakness. This caused Mt. Gox to abruptly shut down completely, dropping prices from roughly $260 to $50. It was a complete disaster. But perhaps we ought to go into more detail. For Bitcoin, 2013 was a turbulent year. It was at this point that most investors started to pay attention to the currency. The increased interest in Bitcoin also drove prices to briefly trade above gold. Bitcoin experts claim that the virtual currency is still in its early stages and is fraught with uncertainties, yet some investors weren't hesitant to test the waters. As the cost of a single Bitcoin soared to an all-time high, Bitcoin gained media attention. Bitcoin began to gain popularity earlier in the year as a result of the Cyprus banking crisis, even though it has gained widespread notice in the last few months of the year. As a result, Bitcoin prices rose to nearly $200 before falling to roughly $60 as the panic subsided. Then, following a summertime low of relative stability, cryptocurrencies began to resurface as the newest investing tool. In November 2013, demand was so great that certain prices listed on Chinese exchanges were over 2 times higher than those quoted on platforms outside of China. However, despite his consistent volatility, Chinese demand for Bitcoin substantially decreased after his November high after the Chinese government declared it was cracking down on the currency. The cryptocurrency market was launched by Bitcoin and will keep expanding due to its crucial position in the world's financial system. The terrible voyage of Bitcoin emphasizes how volatile cryptocurrencies will always be in the face of market turmoil and unforeseen circumstances. As a matter of fact, the price of the USD coin has reflected this on a few occasions. At the time, those who believed Bitcoin would continue to yield mind-blowing gains had their heads handed to them when a crash occurred. However, the main belief was that Bitcoin would rise in value again. The one certainty is volatility, and there is no end in sight. Of course, the crucial question is whether or not Cardano will experience the same situation as Bitcoin did at the end of 2013. ADA is currently in a lows, and if it follows Bitcoin's lead in 2013, it will be there. Can we expect a value increase? This time, though, it will be different because Cardano has a lot of other appealing qualities that can draw an attention. Cardano was created for the second wave of DeFi apps, according to Cardano inventor Charles Hoskinson. Hoskinson anticipates that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC for short, would crack down on or regulate decentralized finance apps. Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, claims that DeFi is subject to regulations. Also take note that it is something of a misnomer because it highlights some areas that are still quite centrally controlled. In August 2021, Zellers made it apparent in his remarks that projects in the DeFi field should anticipate a crackdown akin to what happened to initial coin offerings in 2017. Charles Hoskinson, however, predicts the first generation will be replaced by a new wave of disruptive initiatives that emphasize identification and decentralized governance. The ability to move several chains, as well as liquidity and interoperability, will distinguish the winners of the future in the DeFi space. Finally, cost predictability is a crucial factor. He said it was so strange that we simply accept sharp fluctuations in the cost of conducting business. He added that it will be far more difficult to control DeFi on Cardano. Industry developers have long thought that a more cost-efficient, higher-capacity blockchain network is necessary. The opposition to Ethereum is limitless. Among the most popular options for projects and traders in the ecosystem are Cardano, Solana, and Polkadot. On the other hand, there will be millions of uses on the blockchain network once the projects that are currently in Cardano's commercial pipeline go live. According to the founder of Cardano, it should be dubbed DeFi++ because it emphasizes actual Fi and has real-world application cases. Well, the managing partner of Moonrock Capital Assignment and the DEDIC had the same ideas that the improvements in the Cardano ecosystem's upgrade are positive for the price of native assets. I won't lie. Here, ADA seems incredibly bullish. I'm confident that ADA will retest its prior peak at $3 if the market as a whole remains stable. He quickly stated that Hoskinson's predictions might be deemed audacious and that he has every right to believe such. Cardano is a fast-developing technology that is still in the early phases of development. Many decentralized solutions, including its lending and borrowing platforms, stablecoins, TTs, and NFT marketplaces, are still in their infancy. Moving on, Dan Garbatella, formerly known as Cardano, recently attended a C&FT-Con event that addressed a variety of Web3 newcomers and enthusiasts. Content producers and founders from the Cardano ecosystem attended the event to discuss important concepts and collaborate on projects. In a review of his April video, he mentioned that one of the builders in Cardano who seemed bullish to Dan was in KMR. At NMT. The Cardano game changer maker IO is underappreciated, as evidenced by the recent explosion of NFTs on Codel. He tweeted on April 16 that if we truly think about it, and if TMaker is a key tool that has enabled this to happen, their minting API lets non-technical individuals to manufacture and mint NFTs. The originator of NK was then revealed by Go Modelo. Mr. Patrick Tobler tweeted a picture of his royalties panel from the event, showing a noticeably sparse crowd. According to Delos, the vacant theater confirmed that these significant events are still in the planning stages. A value investor would seize the chance, and in turn, it suggests the kind of value ADA possesses in the future. And what it takes to make large names in the crypto world be referenced is something to consider. Despite the fact that ADA prices are declining, crypto has recently been declared dead. This conclusion, however, is only made when investors fail to see the big picture and instead focus solely on the price activity. To better assess how cryptocurrency is performing, investors need to take into account the key recent indications of widespread acceptance. There have been multiple signs over the past few months that cryptocurrency is here to stay, much like Bitcoin's robust recovery in 2013. Or Donald ADA plans to stage other significant acts of faith. The Cardano ecosystem is still developing, and since there are still many signals that it may be adopted in the future, the past might repeat itself. But do you think the coin can outperform past results? But what do you think about this? Comment below with your thoughts and let us know. In the following video, we'll see